Konnichiwa everybody, welcome back. So this is part 2 of the 360 sort of collection video. Following on from the last one about the sort of PAL releases that I've got that are worth picking up for the arcade and retro fan. So this is all import stuff. And I'm 99% sure all these are import exclusive. Predominantly Japanese, but I think there are 2 or 3 of them that you can get North American. But all of these are Japanese. I did set off thinking I was going to get a full set of Japanese shooters when I first started picking them up. Because I went down the hole and started buying them quite quickly, but then after I played a few I discovered that quite a few of them are bullet hell, which is not for me. I'm finding more and more I can't get on with it, so I've sort of stopped buying them, and I've now I think got the ones I want. Now I might thin these out a bit going forwards when I've played them a bit more, and kind of make a final decision on them. And there's only other one import game that I'm after, which I didn't know about until somebody pointed it out in the comments on the previous video, which I think is an American exclusive called Cubed. So I am going to look out for that, because that's a collection of 3 import Xbox Live Arcade games, one of which is Res HD, so got to be worth buying for that. So that said, what have we got here? They're mainly shooters, but we'll start off with the non-shooters. First one, and I will, I've already recorded some footage of these, so I'll put that up so you can see what they're like, you know, as we go. Anyway, first one we've got is Virtual on 4 Cyber Troopers, whatever you want to call it. What's it called? Virtual on Force, I think. Anyway, I was quite disappointed with this. I love Virtual on the Saturn, like the original arcade game, and I just feel I've got worse and worse ever since that one. You know, I've tried them all with sort of real excitement and thinking, oh, I'm going to love this, and I just don't. And this is another one like that. I just not keen on the control. You're kind of in a tag team type formation. I'm just, it looks alright, it's not doing it for me. And you can get this in 2 forms. One's like a much plainer box. This is obviously Platinum, which I'm not crazy about the Platinum games, but the normal box is very plain white and there's no art on it, and I didn't like that at all, so I got this one. Not brilliant. Right, then we've got 2 fighting games, which I think are both Japanese exclusive. I'm not sure if there are any more. Are there any more, Craig? Let me know if there are. But these are the ones I was aware of anyway. First one we've got is a very long name in Japanese, so I've had to write it down. It's called Ugon Musou Kyoku X. This is really good. 2D one-on-one fighter, nice graphics, familiar kind of, you know, one-on-one fighter, special moves. You're in like a tag team on this as well, kind of like King of Fighters, but really nice. Do recommend that one. Definitely want to check out. The second one I've got is Phantom Breaker. Now, there's a lot of Japanese 360 games you can get in these sort of limited edition sets in like a cardboard box, which predominantly come with a soundtrack, with the standard game inside. This is another 2D one-on-one fighter, more weapons based, rather than special moves, this one. But still good, nice graphics again. I don't think it's as good as that previous one, but another solid addition, I would say, if you like your fighters. And they're the only 2 fighters I've got, so if there's any more, Craig, let me know, will you? There could be. I've not looked into it really, but you'll know, obviously. Right, that brings us on to the shooters, which is predominantly, well, it's the reason I started this journey of import 360 games, because obviously they don't play in a PAL console, so you've got to get yourself a mod console or a Japanese one. But there are the odd few that do work, which are like multi-region, Minefield. I can't remember which ones are which. But I'm sure you can find out if you Google it. Anyway, first up, this is what I'll throw in, like, these are like bullet hell style games. First up, we've got Escaluda 2. Platinum again, unfortunately. It just came along at the right price. But as Platinums go, I don't think these Jap 360 are too bad. But yeah, this is a cave game. And I know there's a load of love for cave games. They're not for me. I've sort of discovered. They look amazing, but there's so much going on. My brain can't cope with it. Far too many bullets, far too busy. But I love how it looks. The colours, and it looks fantastic. I just can't play them. So that's Escaluda 2. I think they've released this on modern platforms. I mean, great, but like I say, they're not for me, these bullet hell games. Right, next up we've got Tetsui, which again I think you can get on modern platforms. And again, far too bullet hell for me, but it does look really nice. I'm sure this is the one with nice pixel art graphics. It is nice to look at. It's just, like I say, far too busy for my brain to cope with. So all of these are kind of, I'm tempted to get rid of them, but there's a part of me which thinks, well, you might get into them one day and you'll regret selling them then. So I'm very much on the fence, really. Right, next up we've got Dodonpachi Dyujo. Black Label, is it, I think? Put it down inside. Yeah, Black Label Extra. There's loads of Dodonpachis on the 360. Different variations and sort of updates. 1.5, Black Label. There's quite a few. Again, looks fantastic. Far too bullet hell for me. I like the early games in this series. Donpachi, fantastic. Dodonpachi, great. Any more than that, again, not for me. But it's just like the other one, Escaluda. I'm kind of reluctant to get rid of it. But like I said, it stopped me buying any more of these once I realised that they're not for me. There's a later version of this Saidaiojo, which is quite expensive. So I'm thankful I never sort of pulled the plug on that one, really. Pull the trigger on that one, rather. I did pull the plug on it. But yeah, cave games look amazing. Not for me, really. Right, still in the bullet hell territory, but I don't mind this one. I can play this a bit. And we've got Mushihime Sama HD. Now again, this is one of the limited edition collection ones with a soundtrack, just like the other one. This is really good. I think this is a HD remake of the one that's on the PS2, which I've also got. And I do quite like this because it's a bit different, being sort of insect based rather than what, spaceships or planes, or it's a bit different. So I definitely think I shall keep that one. I think of all the cave ones I've got, I can perhaps cope with that one a bit better than the others for some reason. Don't know why. It's probably because it's a bit earlier, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Mushihime Sama HD. Again, it looks great, so as you've seen in the footage, that's a winner in my opinion. And then following on from that, we've got Mushihime Sama Futari 1.5, I think it's called. Yeah. Again, another nice collector's set version. In lovely condition. Quite a few of these are off Craig, but I can't remember which ones were off you, Craig, to be honest. I know we've spoke about this. I don't think you can remember either. Doesn't matter, really. This one is too much for me. I can't play this. So I think this because I've, I don't know, I'm on the fence again, really. It's kind of like Dowd Patchy Espegaluda. It's not for me, but do I move it on? Do I keep it in case one day I do get into a Again, it looks great, fantastic. It's just too busy for me. It's kind of a very familiar theme with these cave games. So I don't know. More thought is required. And then the last one in this kind of sub-genre, shall we say, we've got another collector's set, and this time we've got Moochie Moochie Pork and Pink Sweets, which is 2 separate games in one pack. This one hasn't been released on modern platforms and hence is still quite expensive. I only played this, I've had this ages, but I've only played it very recently. And I went into it thinking it's going to be like the other cave games and I'm not going to get on with this. And it is very busy. But for some reason, particularly Moochie Moochie Pork, I've hopefully put both up. Yeah, for some reason, Moochie Moochie Pork I got on reasonably okay with, and I did like that quite a lot. So I shall definitely be keeping this one. And then Pink Sweets I didn't get on quite so well with because it was, again, very busy. But I felt a bit more at ease with it than I did with Muchihime Sama Futari, Dowd Patchy and Espegaluda. So it sits somewhere in between that one, Pink Sweets does. But I definitely like Moochie Moochie Pork. So, like I say, I'm definitely not going to be moving that one on. I'm pretty sure that one was off Craig. Yeah, I'm almost convinced it was. So that's kind of the bullet hell section. Look, there are more. Like I say, I stopped myself buying any more because they're just not for me. I'm quite happy with what I've got. I think, like I say, I'm going to trim a bit of this down in the future. Right, moving on to the more traditional style shooters now. First one we've got is Ginga Force. This kind of sits somewhere in between like a bullet hell and a normal one for me. There's quite a lot of bullets. I don't think this one's for me either. Just for whatever reason, it didn't grab me. This is one of these with 2 discs. I think it's got the oh no, I think it's the soundtrack in that one. Yeah, this one didn't grab me for some reason. I think this is the one where the view, like the backgrounds, the viewpoint of the backgrounds changed a lot as you're playing it, and it threw me off quite a bit. And I don't know, I didn't gel with this one at all. So I don't know. That one might be one I move on as well. Then next up, we've got Shooting Love 10th anniversary, and This has got two games on it, X-Zeal and Delta Zeal, which I believe are in the same series as Tri-Zeal on the Dreamcast. It is Tri-Zeal, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Vertical shooters, and more in a normal style than Bullet Hell. Both reasonable, I would say. Certainly not groundbreaking, not top draw, but reasonable vertical shooters. But I would say, you know, there are better vertical shooters out there by quite a bit. They're just two average, decent vertical shooters, I would say. Like I say, that's X-Zeal and Delta Zeal. I don't know if that's one of them two. I don't know if it was that or Ginga Force. There was another. Well, it might be. No, it might be a later one. No, scratch that. Anyway, moving on. Next up, this I think was actually the last shooter I bought for the system that was on my list to get. And we've got Castle of Shikigami 3, or Shikigami no Shiro 3. Now these obviously originated on the PS2, and you can get it on the first one on the OG Xbox as well. But this obviously is the third one. I'm not sure if this has come out on modern platforms. But I always felt the first two games were kind of decent without being extraordinary. And this kind of follows the same trend, really. It's decent, but it's not like amazing. Vertical again. Most of these are vertical. I think all of them so far actually have been vertical. Again, it's not really, you wouldn't class it as bullet hell, but it's not like, there's quite a few bullets, but it's not bullet hell. Decent. Definitely decent. Shikigami 3. Right. Next up, we've got Escartos. Now I think this is the one. It's vertical again. I can't remember. There's one of these got like another couple of games on which are like really old school, like because it was quite kind of a throwaway bonus type thing. Might be this one, and it doesn't really matter. Escartos. This is decent again, much like Shikigami. It's not a top draw game, but I think it's adequate and decent. So again, I'll definitely be keeping this one. No idea if it's come out on modern platforms, but happy to have that one. That's Escartos. Then we get into the best ones on the system for me. This is actually the first one I ever bought. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's the second one I bought. This is Caladrius. Now you can get this on the PS3 as well. Possibly. I don't know if it's, might be American. I'm not. It doesn't matter anyway. Caladrius. Again, vertical. It's got some like story elements mixed in with it, which I find a bit frustrating, but you can skip them, or speed them up at least. There's a bit of sort of girly, sort of anime, scantily cladness elements to it in the story. But it's a good. This is a good game. I like this a lot. Like I say, vertical shooter, nice style and look to it. Definitely recommend that one. Then, next up, these are the only two horizontal ones I've got, I think. Yeah, pretty sure. And the first one up is Outer Media's Gorgeous. Obviously Konami. And this really is very much like Gradius and Parodius, hence the name, I suppose, Outer Medias. Absolutely beautiful looking game, this, in my opinion. Plays just like Gradius, same sort of power-up system. It's not crazy difficult, you know, even I can play it. Really like this a lot. This is one of my favourite games of all these on this Jap 360. This is one of my favourites. I don't think it's actually sort of praised that much actually, but for where I like it. So, you know, take from that what you will. That's Outer Medius Gorgeous. And then following on from that, I think that was the first one. You've got Outer Medius Excellent. Now this is still good, but for me it's not as good as Outer Medius Gorgeous. I don't think the graphics are as nice. They're not like, they're still nice enough, but that, I don't know, that Gorgeous has got a lot more charm about it and feels a bit more cartoony and perhaps a bit more in the parodious mould, where this one feels a bit more, I don't know, kind of modern, and the graphics just, like I said, the graphics just haven't got the charm. They feel a bit more modernised, and I don't know, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but if you're sort of torn between the two, I prefer Gorgeous. Right, we're down to the last two. The first one, fantastic, though you can buy this on all modern platforms. Raiden 4. Obviously, if you've been watching the channel, well, you know I love Raiden. I like all Raidens except 5 and Nova. They're both a bit terrible, to be fair. But 1, 2, 3, 4, fantastic. I really like 4. It's not as good as 1 and 2, but it's still good. It's reasonably priced now because you can get it on modern platforms, like I say. But it's nice to have the original on the 360. It's a great game. And then we come to the last one, which is the reason I bought, well, I bought this game before I even got the machine, so I wanted this game, and the only way you can play it is on the 360. It's never been released on anything else. So I bought this game off Craig from the market years ago, like I said, before I'd even got the console. So that then obviously gave me the impetus to get the RGH modded console to play Raiden Fighters Aces. What a stunning game. And there are 3 games on this pack. You've got Raiden Fighters 2 and Raiden Fighters Jet. They're all great. A fantastic collection. Without doubt, like I say, it's the absolute best reason to buy a console capable of playing imports. You can imagine they might bring it out one day on something else, but who knows? Like I say, they're all awesome. Raiden Fighters and Raiden Fighters 2, they're both kind of similar in style to Raiden, but they are quite difficult right away. You know, they don't let you in really. And then Raiden Fighters Jet is more of like a boss rush mode, really, I would say. Again, all fantastic. They really, really are. And this is another one. A lot of these Jap 360 games come with 2 discs. You tend to get like an Insanity DVD with them as well. And this is one of them. I believe you can get this American. But what a stunning game. It's absolutely fantastic. I would say it's probably the best game on the system. Possibly. Certainly one of them, and certainly the best one on import, I would say. So if there's any way you can play it, go check it out. Raiden Fighters Aces. Thoroughly recommend it. And that's the entirety of the import collection. Let me know if there's anything that's standing out you think is worth buying, aside from any of that lot, excluding Bullet Hell. I'm not looking for any of them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Sayonara.